r/AskReddit, ex-Trump supporters, what made you change your mind? And GT, he was embarrassed to tell me that he voted for Trump in 2016, but swore he never would again. Good on you for giving him an off-ramp. Part of what keeps people in cults, and Trumpism absolutely is one, is the fear that if they leave, not only will the cult shun them but so will the outside world. Not me, but my aunt. She was mega all the way until the pandemic. She is a retired nurse and thinks Trump did a horrible job with COVID causing many deaths. The most pathetic thing is, Trump didn't have to do anything. He could have just let the experts do their thing and he would have gotten all the political credit. I was a member of the Republican Party since 1978. I changed to Democrat the day they put the big orange baby on the ticket 8 years ago. I took it as a joke. Didn't give any credence that he would be the legit choice of the Republicans, especially after the grab her by the pussy soundbite. I can't believe people heard that and still move forward with electing him. Women that support him are beyond my understanding. Gotta say that while this is an extremely small sample size, I'm so happy to see so many reformed Trump supporters. Gives me hope. Evidence of his lack of control. He keeps defaming Carol even though he's been found guilty before. A person with no control over himself and what he says and does. Should not be in the presidency. Irony is any sane person would have settled that case out of court and all he would have to do is STFU and the Carol story would have disappeared. He can't make good decisions to literally save his financial life just like he made and would make terrible decisions as president. Guy just has bad judgment regardless of anything else. I've always been Republican and the first election I felt like I was voting for the lesser of two evils. But then during his time in office he constantly made me regret my decision, so I didn't vote for him again. Cut the NPS budget. The landmass we inhabit is the only thing I'm actually proud of, so reducing the budget to protect our most amazing places was the final straw. Then COVID, then January 6th. Not me personally, but my mom stopped supporting Trump after his colossal mishandling of the COVID situation and even broke her out of her anti-vax mindset that she had for the last decade. Thanks Trump. At some point I realized he was a cult leader and I don't want any part of it. My mother was strong right-wing all her life. Now she is leaning left, surprisingly shifted after they sold their company and now to rely on government pension because they did not have any other retirement plans. I'm surprised that none of the responses are because a court found he raped someone. And GT, in July, Judge Kaplan clarified that the jury had found that Trump had raped Carol according to the common definition of the word. Wikipedia, link. I'm not uneasy face. Or the racism or the crime or helping Putin and MBs. Complimenting Hungarian fascist. So many reasons. I started to get fed up and embarrassed by other supporters that made me start to question things more. When he made fun of the TV reporter. That was it for me. It was just so unprofessional and weird. Wasn't that like, a week into his campaign? Finally having close friends outside my immediate family. There's a big difference between thinking anyone who isn't conservative is an evil liberal and actually knowing and caring about actual leftists. Within a year I was no longer conservative. Took a bit longer to go full leftist, but I'm there now. He did so much damage to environmental policies. As someone who grew up with a religious background, it's definitely an eye-opening experience once you break away from the hive mind. Good on you. J6 was the culmination after watching him implode over 4 years. He did a terrible job the first time. I'd prefer status quo with Biden than risk having Trump again. Mocked mask wearers during respiratory pandemic as POTUS. Just because you know a person with a disability who is able to work a job doesn't mean everyone with a disability can work. Not all disabilities are the same. And even people with the same disabilities don't react the same. I hate how people think they're fucking genius bringing out their disabled cousin in response to us being unable to work. Disabilities are not black and white. And just because someone can do something one day, it doesn't mean they can do it on another day. And it's possible that doing things that they can might drain their energy for the rest of the day or even for a few days after. On top of that, it's not just physical, executive functioning can be a problem too. Disability is a spectrum. Sometimes it feels like people want to see your worst symptoms before they believe you. I try really hard not to burden people with my struggle, so I stay silent. No one knows how to be supportive, so they think giving you space is a good option. But it's so isolating. I'm not sure if it counts as a disability, but I have chronic back and leg pain. Some people think I don't really have these issues because I don't normally have a reaction. I've been dealing with it for over a year and I've just learned to put on a poker face. But before I learned how to, I'd be crying and sobbing over the pain. I'd count it. It is so fucking refreshing to read a whole bunch of people who sympathize with traditionally conservative ideas but who have also retained and are using their critical thinking skills. Sometimes people with physical disabilities aren't confined to wheelchairs. Just because a person doesn't look disabled doesn't mean they aren't. My wheelchair is equivalent to my legs. If you wouldn't go around groping other people's legs, do not fuck with my wheelchair. If you would go around groping people's legs, go to therapy instead. Oh my gosh, yes, get the hell away from my wheelchair. It's the only way I can move around and have a life. Personally, I hate being treated differently than non-disabled people. So many employees tell me this, and push back against accommodations. I tell them the accommodations are to help manage the condition at work. Other people don't have the condition, and therefore don't need an accommodation. You're not being treated differently, you're being treated fairly. Ambulatory wheelchair users exist. I'm learning how to get good at walking again. I'm not great at it yet, but people get real weird in public. Like a while ago while at the grocery store I stood up to grab something off a shelf and a lady said congratulations to me. Very strange interaction, but I mean it's better than her being outright mean. If you have an invisible disability/illness, people forget after a while. It's like people's minds are only wired for illness that ends with either death or getting better. It's hard to have to constantly remind people that yep, those difficulties still very much exist. Hearing aids are not like glasses where your vision is restored completely with use. Please do not talk to me if you're not facing me, I will not hear you. Just a small correction, glasses don't always completely restore your vision. Going for a walk outside will not cure my depression. Trying harder will not cure my autism. I promise if the left ever flirts with an anti-American dictator candidate, I'll return the favor. Add to this repeatedly telling me about people who have it worse, e.g. war refugees or children in Indian slums, won't make me feel better. Most of people can't/don't want to accommodate you. That a lot of my behaviors have nothing to do with them and aren't born out of malice, they're just coping mechanisms or differences in the way my brain is built. Chronic pain is different from acute pain. They are processed differently and they feel very different. So, my chronic pain 6 isn't the same as your 6 when you stubbed your toe. Not only does chronic pain not ever stop, but it feels completely different. This is specially for hard of hearing/deaf people, but it's whenever I ask them to repeat themselves, it's not that I'm not listening, I just genuinely couldn't hear you. Please stop recommending things that you think will help. Yes, I have tried yoga, yes, I have tried diets. I do not want medical advice from you, you cannot fix it. I have doctors to help, and to have strangers randomly suggest things is very frustrating. It's like able-bodied people don't understand that we can't fix it that easily. I appreciate that you want to help, but that is not helping. Agreed. When you watch the news it doesn't sound like he's lost a single voter after all of the crazy shit that he did. I'm glad that some conservative/right-leaning folks have realized that he has crossed way too many lines to be given power again. January 6th. Most embarrassing shit I've ever seen in my life. I could see the mental gymnastics working overdrive defending his moronic behavior throughout his presidency, but it's mind-numbing to think people saw an actual insurrection orchestrated by him and still think he represents even a slice of what this country needs. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.